If you used your smartphone for navigation today, you might not have noticed, but your system just got an important update. Scientists have released a new model tracking the position of Earth's magnetic North Pole, revealing that it has shifted even closer to Siberia. And it's not stopping there, it's still drifting towards Russia. But why? And what does this mean for us? Unlike the geographic North Pole, which is a fixed point, magnetic north is always in motion. This movement is caused by Earth's magnetic field, which is generated by the swirling molten metal inside our planet's core. But something unusual has been happening. For centuries, magnetic north drifted slowly. But in the 1990s, it suddenly picked up speed, racing from Canada towards Russia at an unprecedented 55 kilometers per year. Then, in 2015, it unexpectedly slowed down again. Scientists are puzzled by this erratic behavior. What's going on beneath our feet? To keep navigation systems accurate, experts update the World Magnetic Model every 5 years. This model is crucial for GPS, airplanes, military navigation, and even your smartphone. Major airlines and NATO forces must regularly update their systems to account for these shifts. But for everyday users like you and me, the updates happen seamlessly in the background. But here's where things get even more mysterious. Scientists believe Earth's magnetic field is weakening. In the distant past, this has led to something called a geomagnetic reversal, a complete flip of Earth's magnetic poles. Magnetic pole reversals have happened many times throughout Earth's history, but they're unpredictable. Some scientists suggest the last one occurred about 780,000 years ago. Some scientists suggest we might be overdue for another, but the timing is uncertain. In Part A, we've talked about the story of the Adam and Eve story by Chan Thomas, a book so controversial that it was classified by the US government. Thomas was not just any author, he was a geologist, an engineer, and a former intelligence officer. His research pointed to a shocking theory that Earth's poles have shifted multiple times in history, causing cataclysmic floods and wiping out entire civilizations. According to Thomas, this cycle of destruction happens every few thousand years. The mysterious Columbia Plateau. In the 1920s, geologist J. Harlan Bretz stumbled upon a geological mystery in the Pacific Northwest. The Columbia Plateau was covered in giant dry waterfalls, deep canyons, and massive boulders that looked like they had been violently swept across the land. Something catastrophic had happened here. But what? Bretz proposed an idea that shocked the scientific community. A sudden massive megaflood had carved out the landscape in a matter of days, not millions of years. He was mocked and ridiculed. Where did all that water come from? No one had an answer. Years later, researchers discovered that a colossal glacial dam had collapsed, unleashing a flood with the force of 60 Amazon rivers combined. The theory was no longer a joke. It was real. The Sahara's mysterious eye, across the world, another strange landform hides an ancient secret. The Richat structure, also known as the Eye of the Sahara, is a massive circular formation in the middle of the desert. But near this structure, researchers found something shocking. Massive ripple marks up to 15 meters high, as if a great flood had once swept over the land. But how could a desert have been underwater? The lost continent of Mu. Ancient legends speak of a lost civilization known as Mu, a vast continent that once stretched across the Pacific Ocean. The Mayans, the Hindus, and even ancient Egyptians all spoke of a mighty empire that disappeared beneath the waves. In the 19th century, Augustus Laplangian claimed he had deciphered Mayan texts that describe Mu as a thriving, technologically advanced civilization. Later, Colonel James Churchward found similar accounts in ancient Indian inscriptions. According to these texts, Mu's people worshipped the sun, built grand temples, and traveled across the world in massive seafaring vessels. But then, a series of violent disasters, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and floods swallowed the continent whole. Could the remains of Mu still be hidden beneath the ocean? The Forgotten Clues. Off the coast of Japan, the Yonaguni Monument lies submerged beneath the waves. Its massive stone terraces, looking eerily man-made. In Micronesia, the mysterious non-metal ruins stand as an ancient city built on artificial islands with basalt columns. But no one knows who built them or why. And on Easter Island, the famous Moai statues are far bigger than we once believed. Their buried bodies extend deep underground, as if they were once standing fully above ground before being covered by layers of earth. All of these sites share one thing in common. They suggest that a great flood buried their past. Mu's influence on the world. If Mu really existed, could its people have spread across the world before their home was destroyed? The evidence is intriguing. Polynesian and Greek languages share striking similarities. The Easter Islanders worshipped a sun god named Ara, just like the Egyptians. Mayan temples and Teotihuacan's pyramids contain inscriptions referencing a lost Western continent. It all points to one possibility: a lost civilization that was erased by an unimaginable disaster. Chan Thomas and the Forbidden Knowledge. Thomas believed that Earth's past cataclysms were not random. They followed a pattern, a cycle that repeats every few thousand years due to sudden polar shifts. This theory was so controversial that when Thomas published the Adam and Eve story in 1963, the CIA classified the book, removing key sections, before releasing a heavily redacted version decades later. But why? What was so dangerous about his ideas? Could it be that another cataclysm is coming soon? And if so, are we prepared? History repeats itself, but will we listen this time?
Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Share it, because some stories are meant to be discovered together. And stay curious. I'll see you in the next chapter.